Hey guys, sorry about all of that. Hey, I just want to tell everybody, please don't call my phone or message or anything like that because it interrupts the live feed. So while you're watching part 2, because obviously it's part 2 now, you can go back to part 1 so that you can hear my first speech or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go ahead and follow up with the questions for the COWS, which is the Clinical Opioid Withdrawal Scale.
Okay, so I think where we dropped off was right around, we were talking about nasal symptoms. You were having some stuffiness, some runny nose, that your eyes were kind of tearing on and off. Okay, so I was just giving you a score for that one. And then I just wanted to see about stomach upset, specific symptoms. Are you having any cramps?
Yeah, it's like nausea.
Okay, so nausea.
Yeah.
Are you having any issues with vomiting or diarrhea?
No.
Okay, any issues with loose stool?
Yeah.
I know it's kind of an awkward
That's
question.
okay.
But okay, so go ahead and score those for you. I'll need you to hold your hands straight out in front of you as still as you can. We just want to see if you have a tremor, and I can definitely see that that's present. You can rest your hands on your legs though. And then I haven't seen you yawn since we started the assessment, but maybe I missed it. I do look at the paper occasionally. Did I miss
I wasn't yawning in here, but I was yawning out there.
Okay,
and
so just since we started the assessment, that's a no?
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Are you feeling like you have increasing anxiety and irritability?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. And then I just need to take a look at your skin on your arms to see if you have any goosebumps. It looks like your skin is rather smooth, and you're very blonde, so I can't tell if you're. Oh yeah, I can see the little hairs are standing up on your arm.
I was really bad out there. It comes and it goes all over my body.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all your symptoms are kind of coming in waves.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to add up your scores here, okay?
Oh, damn. I gotta sit back.
Okay, second count to check. So as of right now, your COWS score is a 20. Okay.
You're the second one to have a COWS at 20.
Yeah.
Do you have to pee?
Hey Facebook, do you have to be?
So I have all of the documentation that I need together to be able to report to the physician. I'm going to step out of the room here in just a moment, and I'll track her down and give her a report. So you guys can just hang tight. You need any water or anything?
Water would be awesome. I am going to go with her to use the bathroom.
Okay, so I'll grab some water, and then we will resume this with the physician in the room.
Okay.
And I'll just say, during the break on the video, something was brought up where we could. This I think would also help individuals see that may be scared or skeptical about the device, the process of the reduced symptoms. So we're doing this for that reason also. While we're sitting here, while we're waiting for the physician to get in here to apply the bridge device, you can ask questions, and then our cameraman, and I want to also give a shout out to him, Colby Hall from Hidden North Productions. He's been through this whole process with us from the very beginning, and I just want to thank him so much for participating in this and donating his time, because this is huge. And I think we've been videoing from patient 1 on, and even before that we were videoing meetings and stuff like that, because we want to capture this process that the Matsu Opioid Task Force came up with, because we know that, this whole protocol that we've all came together and become partners on is huge. So I just wanted to do that. So if you guys have any questions while I'm sitting here, I can go ahead and answer anything that maybe you want. Got something in my eye.
That's your finger.
I know, now it is.
Maybe you could read the questions as they come up.
Is there anything?
Not yet.
How many people is on there?
20.
Okay.
Hi guys, we just can't thank you enough for your prayers and support through this, and I guess now is a good time to invite you out to the Matsu Opiate Task Force. Is it next week?
Tuesday.
The 4th?
Yeah,
Tuesday.
April 4th.
Tuesday, April 4th at Wasilla City Hall, 4 to 6 p.m. And the following Tuesday in Anchorage will be our first Anchorage Opioid Task Force. And that one's also 4 to 6, and that is at what's it called?
Kim Whitaker, you can post that in the comments,
Right.
please. The address, it is at a church on Lake Otis.
2300 Oak Street.
Yeah, there we go.
Downstairs at the church. And so, just show up. Like none of us, or most of us really had no idea what all we could do. We just showed up, and through this process, through the conversations of just praying and showing up, all of this has come together. Man, God's just been so good, and forming these partnerships and showing us who's with us and who's not, and He's just been kicking doors open for us. So I just thank you for those that are in our corner on that, and we'd just like to invite more to join us. So.
Also, I wanted to do a shout out to my church, Acts 247, Recovery Church in Anchorage, Corey and Aaron Schmilkoffer. You guys are awesome. And then also Pastor Paula and Brian Gray, who've been investing in my life since 2007 during my incarceration. They are also a part of Acts 247. So if you guys are interested in attending Recovery Church, that church is phenomenal, and people are in recovery. Pastor's in recovery. His wife is. The elders, so on and so forth. A lot of people coming there that are in recovery. So we totally understand, and they understand.
We have a question from Jessica Lackey.
Oh, hey, Jessica.
How long till the bridge device will be more readily available? The truth is that, right now, it is available in Fairbanks.
Yes.
If people want to go see Paul Finch in Fairbanks, we've had to send people up there that just weren't able to make it into this particular pilot program. We've had a lot of success up there. Paul is a great dude. He's helped several of my friends get on their path to recovery. So Paul Finch in Fairbanks can offer the bridge device in Alaska. And as far as here in the valley, we're doing what we can, and it's going to be more readily available very soon. So if you're looking and you've heard some of the questions earlier, if you're looking for help, reach out to us at Fallen Up Ministries, and we'll try to get you in and get you on your path to recovery, get you through the hard part, detox.
Did we mention that this project is only for heroin and fast-acting opiate?
Yeah,
users?
just for now. Later on down the road, I'm hoping that eventually we can go ahead and get more grants and work on this where we can actually get more devices and stuff, so that we can provide help for those outside of the Lazarus Project. Our goal and vision is to actually set up an actual detox facility right here in the Matsu Valley, and then maybe even in Anchorage, and then also this also, I just want to talk a little bit about how the device, what's great about the device. The device is a great ambulatory approach, which means you don't have to be in an inpatient detox bed, which costs about $500 a day, versus a one-time fee for a bridge device, and you can go home or be in a safe house or a transitional house wearing this for 5 days. Also, what's great about this too is this can be used in rural areas where the epidemic is not being addressed, and people needing to get off of heroin, pain pills, so on and so forth. We're hoping to be able to work with rural areas and get doctors trained on utilizing this as a tool to detox those that live in the rural areas and the villages and stuff. So this is, I think that this is going to be groundbreaking, and I'm hoping for the future we definitely want to go ahead and get a clinic open so that we can address this when the person wants it, right when they want it, and be able to help them on to the next step, give them all, and which I want to talk a little bit about that too. This is a huge component and key to this too. So after the device is moved on the 7th day, the patient moves on to the Vivitrol shot. The Vivitrol shot is a non-narcotic opioid blocker. You get it every 28 days. We have several clinics that administer the shot, and so I think that my suggestion would be, if you are getting detoxed and you suffer, you can't get through the craving part of it and all of that, that the Vivitrol shot will carry that for you. And I know lots of people that are utilizing that as a tool to stay in recovery. Of course, it's not addicting. You don't get withdrawals from it. It's a full blocker. You can't get high on it. It doesn't get you high, and it helps with cravings. So this whole protocol is a non-narcotic approach to recovery. We are not using any narcotics to get somebody clean and sober. So
I'm going to step out for a minute.
okay.
Sarah Blanchard has a question. Tara asked, is this only available in Alaska? That's a pretty easy one.
No, it's not available in Alaska. The distributors have lots of people around the United States that are utilizing this. It's a small amount. Again, this is a newer device, so I know that the developers and the distributors are doing a lot of work in putting this device out there so that people know about it. And I know that it's going to happen because it's blowing up, and that's just how God works. And I believe that God's doing something good, and I just want to also say, more than anything, out of anybody that needs praise in this is Jesus Christ and God, because He's opened the doors for us to be able to do this, and for this task force to be formed, and not just that, the parents, myself and John Green and Kathy Green, that are being carried through their suffering and my own personal suffering to be able to do what we're doing. And I know that if I didn't have him in my life today, I would not be where I am, nor would I be able to get through my pain if I did not have God walking with me. So more than anything, I needed to say that. And I thought about it, and then I was just like, I kept forgetting to say it, but he definitely is a huge piece to this. So I believe that this is not going to be just, in little clinics that all in here and there. I believe that eventually this is going to be a huge tool that this nation will utilize to get over this epidemic. So anybody
So
else?
it is FDA approved right now. It's just not
That was FDA cleared.
FDA
Yeah.
cleared, but so
Yeah.
it is out there. There are clinics that are utilizing this tool. It's not covered by Medicaid right now, but we're hoping eventually down the road with through documentation like this and proving what we already know, that it works and it works great, that eventually it will be covered. And would like to point out that as far as we know, we are the only nonprofit in the United States that is offering this device, and we're just looking forward to other people that want to partner with us and help us to get more grants to keep doing this and keep saving lives in the state that we love so much, and spread this across the United States. So.
I believe that, we are the only non-clinical, non-profit organization that is providing this device. I might be wrong. I can ask the distributor about that, but I do. And I think we're the only faith-based organization doing this too. So, the Matsuopi Task Force, obviously, we're all believers, but I'm saying as far as their 501c3 written around detox. I think Fallen Up Ministries is the only one on the list that's a ministry that's doing this. So
Join us.
yeah, totally.
We need more,
guys.
man.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to say this. I had a guy message me saying that he and he's been a friend of mine for over 20 years. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him on the spot. But he donated. He donated money to buy one device for somebody. So whenever I
Almost choked my gum.
So whenever I purchase our next round of devices, I'm going to be getting that extra one. So we have the physician in here right
One
now.
more question. John Schinholzer asked how it works.
Hi, John. You are like one of my. I'm one of your biggest fans. I should have mentioned you because you guys are this.
We're gonna get you.
Yeah,
up
we're
there.
going to get you up here.
You're coming.
We've been talking about you. John, it is a neurostim stimulator. It is an electrical device that is attached to the ear with 4 electrodes, and it stimulates the pain receptors in the brain and reduces the detox symptoms by 75, sometimes even to 100%. The cows can be up to 20, and we've seen them drop down to 0 by the time the patient leaves. So. And then, of course, it's coupled with comfort meds because when the patient goes home, sometimes, they'll have like a little bit of symptoms here and there, and then they take comfort meds, non-narcotic comfort meds to reduce those symptoms. So, and it basically is getting the individuals through the detox. But we're going to go ahead and move on to getting the device applied, and I'm going to step out of the way a little bit so that we can have the physician get in here.
I'll just take a listen to your heart and lungs.
Okay. One more?
One more.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
Lightheaded. We're going to use your right ear.
Yes. I think I see generally.
Okay. Do you want to lay down?
Yeah. Oh, am I facing this way?
You have the right ear?
This is
You want me to put your device on the right?
this side. What side is this?
That's your right.
Yeah.
You can lie down this way.
Okay.
You can put your hair up though.
Okay. So I'm facing that way.
You just lie down.
Okay.
Lie down.
Okay.
And then you put your head towards the wall. So first thing you're going to do is just prep your ear, take up any oils and makeup on your ear, okay? Just cold, just alcohol. These are the areas that will do the attachment. So all I'm doing is taking off the oils. One more. Okay, I'm just going to use some sticky stuff on there. I like this one. And this is really sticky and it helps those electrode tabs stay on. So, just going to look at your just going to look at the vasculature of your ear just to see where the best place to put these probes. See the prominence of the blood vessels, and you just want to avoid those blood vessels, but you want to be near them. And then go on this side. And I'm just going to mark the areas. The first area is going to be on your earlobe. Second area is up here, just above the tragus. Third area is going to be here. This is the easiest way. Fourth area is going to be back here. All right, Terria, I need your hand. Thanks. This way. Put it right against this one. Thank you. All right, so we're going to attach the generator. I'm going to give the harness right.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to see how this is going to attach, just to make sure that I have plenty of room, and we do. Ready to attach the generator. Stick it right here and hold it for 10 seconds. Good. Good. All right. Now we get ready to attach those electrode things. So we're going to do the first one in your earlobe. In the earlobe. You're going to feel a little pop as I press it into the earlobe.
one will go just above in front of your ear. So the full-pronged one. This one is going to go right in front of your ear. You might feel a pop here. Feel that?
No, I mean, I've
Felt it go in.
yeah, I think so. Not a pop, but
Okay. And then third one is going to go in your ear. All right. This one you might feel a pop in this one. You feel anything yet?
maybe my ears don't have any sensitivity.
All right, we'll do the last one. Goes on the back of the ear. So all the electrodes are in, all the pins are in right now. Do you have feel any symptoms, anything at all?
Do I what?
Do you feel anything?
Like what?
You feel pulsation?
No.
Pulsing?
Mm.
Nothing. Okay, we'll see. We'll just wait on that a second. Just make sure that they're in. Okay. All right, I'm going to have you sit up, and I'll wait to take that down.
Is it supposed to pulse?
Yeah, it should.
Does it take time?
And you may not feel it right away.
Okay.
Some patients describe it as like feeling like they're being shocked.
Nothing. I barely even felt
The pin's going. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna wait
Okay.
the 10 minutes, and then
It feels warm.
yeah, and it's gonna
It's
get
working.
warmer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your ears red.
Oh.
We'll repeat the pain level and the Cal scale.
Okay.
10, 20, 30 minutes. Probably a little bit longer too, because you have other medications in your system. So that's not unusual. Okay. It may take up to 60 minutes.
Okay.
So Serena started out with a cows of 20, and now the process will be every 10 minutes her cows will be checked. And cows again is clinical opioid withdrawal scale, and that is to check where her symptoms of withdrawal are. And obviously, as you can see, her ear is turning a little red, which is normal. That usually happens when the bridge device is applied. And then some patients feel what they describe as like electrical pulses. Others will say, oh, I feel like it's shocking me, but it's not a painful shock. It's just their description of feeling electrical pulses in their ear. So, and when you see the ear turning red, that means definitely it's working.
I feel like I'm on a stage and it's like, shh, quiet. Anybody asking questions? So we can get some verbiage going on in the room while we're reading.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I still feel like shaky and my back pain. I'm always feeling back pain. It feels like it's lessened a little bit. But I still feel sweaty and stuff, so, and goosebumps. So, but am I supposed to feel pulsing? Because I'm not feeling pulsing.
Don't worry.
Okay, okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
about
some
pulsing.
people describe it, some people don't.
Okay.
You know,
Don't worry.
I was about to say, go ahead and push it in, Doc, as hard as you can. Punch it in. Use your fist.
That's what Terry always tells me. Get it in there.
Yeah. Is that a no?
the pain of the pricks are way less than the pain of the withdrawal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would rather get poked with a little bit of electrodes than go through the pain of withdrawal, which is terrible.
Yeah. And mine's projected to be longer, right?
Just a little bit.
Mike Lambert asked, what is the highest on the cow's scale?
On the
40 is the
40.
Yeah.
I thought it was 35, but 40. So it's super severe.
that would be probably like what we call the peak of a detox.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sometimes people experience that the second or third day of detox. They can be that high in a cow's. And it also depends on the amount of the use, how often, how much, what they're using. Everybody's different.
Yes.
See that last question?
Hi Serena, how many days did you have to go without any meds before they installed the bridge just now?
It's generally between, depending on your dose, 48 up to 72 hours, sometimes longer. My doctor suggested 72 hours, but I had did a rapid taper against her knowledge. So I ended up from 16 milligrams to 2 milligrams. So my last day, the last day that I took any Subutex was Wednesday morning at 9:30. So over 48 hours for me. I didn't think I was going to be at 20 though. I thought I was going to be like at 5. So about that for Subutex, Suboxone, Methadone, a lot longer.
Somebody, Stephanie Wimberly said, I thought she was getting one in each ear. So can you explain that?
Everyone
Okay.
thought that. Heroin and fast-acting opioids, your physical withdrawal is about 5 days a week. But with maintenance medications like methadone, Suboxone, and Subutex, it is a longer detox process. So this could be up to 2 weeks for me. So I'm getting one device, and this will be on for 5 days. And then on the 5th, 6th day, I'm going to have my second device. So no, it's not one on each ear, but everyone thought that. It's one back to back for 10 days.
You're smiling.
Yeah, I am. I don't really, I mean, I feel, I'm just trying to wait.
You know what? Everybody does this. It's kind of like they're like,
Right,
okay,
trying to
am
figure
I
it out.
am I not feeling symptoms? Am I supposed to feel symptoms? And then pretty soon, medical stuff doesn't lie. When you do pulse rate and the
Right.
blood pressure and stuff, and as it reduces, and then you start noticing your other symptoms reduce, you definitely will notice.
I mean, I still feel sweaty, and that's the one I hate the most because I'm like. I don't know. You think 48 hours was long enough?
Amy Dermott says, does the device only work for 5 days?
Yes,
Yes.
only 5 days.
Explain why we leave it on for 7 days.
For Vivitrol?
No.
Or-
The first 24 hours to 48 hours, and maybe 72 hours if the person's longer. They calculate that it's 14 days for synthetic maintenance medication, and then 7 days for opioids, heroin, pain pills, so on and so forth. The device is applied the second day with opioids and heroin, and then that's worn for 5 days, and then that's up to 6. That's on the 6th day that it stops working, and then on the 7th day they go into the doctor and have the device removed, and then they get the Vivitrol shot right there in the office. So it's first day 1, no use. Second day, which is 1 through 5, which is the 6th day, and then on the 7th day Vivitrol. And it's the same thing with maintenance medication. And I think I'm going to jump out of the way because our physician's assistant's going to check her vitals.
It seems I've been upgraded to a PA. I'm actually just a medical assistant, but
Okay.
thank you. That's very sweet.
Okay, well, medical
Okay,
assistant.
so we're going to go
whatever.
ahead and get a new set of vital signs for you. We're going to place this on your right hand.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and get your blood pressure as soon as we're done with that. All right, so we have, I'll let it finish reading. It's kind of all over the place. Okay, so we're steady at 97 for your O2 saturation. It looks like you're averaging right around 105 for your heart rate.
So it dropped a little.
How's your pain? If you had to give it a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, what would you characterize your pain as?
I'd say, I've never not felt back pain before. I'd say 1 right now.
Okay. All right, then we're going to go ahead and get your blood pressure, and then we'll go through the CALS assessment again, and we'll get a new score for you. So I'll get you to pull your sleeve down for me. And then you can just relax your arm against your leg.
Do you want to lift? Okay.
Oh, you're okay. Okay. 130/90.
So it's dropping a little bit.
Okay. So we'll go through the same form again. Your heart rate was at 105. So that'll keep you for right now at a score of 2. And then you said you still feel sweaty, correct?
Yeah.
I can still see a little bit of pink on your cheeks. I'll keep you at a 2 for that one. Are you feeling restless?
Not as bad. I mean, yes and no.
Do you feel like you have some difficulty sitting still right now?
It's mostly a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And then let's take a look at your pupils. They still look a little bit, just a smidge bigger than they should. And bone or joint aches, you said you've had a significant decrease in that, but are they still mildly present for you?
No, I mean, just nothing. No,
Not really?
no.
Okay, And then how are your sinus symptoms? Are you still having some congestion and stuffiness in your nose? Is your nose running at all?
It's not running, but it's just, it's
Still
just a little stuffy, yeah.
Okay. And stomach upset at all? Any cramping?
A little bit,
A little bit?
yeah.
Okay. Are you having any nausea?
My stomach's just growling and kind of not. I wouldn't say I'm nauseous right now, but it is kind of, my stomach's hurting.
Some
right
cramping?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I need you to put your hands out in front of you, please. And just look for a tremor. Ever so slight. You can put your hands down. And I haven't seen you yawn. I didn't miss it?
now. Nope, no
Okay.
yawn.
No yawning. Are you feeling anxious and irritable?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And then I just need to take a look at your skin on your arm and see if you have any goosebumps or
Oh,
raised
sorry.
hairs. Looks like your skin is smooth and yeah. That seems to have resolved. So we're gonna add this up and get your new score.
Oh, it just came back.
So is that still coming and
It
going?
is
for
coming
you,
and
the
going.
Goosebumps?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, and in 10 minutes we'll reassess you.
So that's good, guys. Some sort of decrease.
A 20 to a 13.
Yes. Is my hair in the way?
I'm going to put Sarah
Okay.
down,
Do I need to put my hair up?
and you need to lie back down.
Okay. Can I put my hair up the way? Not like that.
Come on.
Whatever
Like
way.
I'm in the 80s. I was born in the 80s.
We've all said this.
I knew the 80s. Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna flip my head forward real quick.
Just be careful with the wires.
Okay. I can't see them, but
Yeah.
am I good? Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna have you lie back down.
Okay. I feel so hot. I was cold before and I'm really hot.
Well, you're supposed to feel a little bit of warmth when the device is
Yeah,
applied.
I did
You
feel that
You did?
Yeah,
Okay,
from-
and that's normal.
in my back,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy because my back always hurts. Like, always. And I don't really, I feel it, but I don't, it's not really hurting too bad.
We're just gonna get these wires down a little bit so you don't catch them.
I decided not to re-answer the other one.
Let's try. Let me just add a little bit back here, okay? And good job. And I have some hairs caught in there, so I apologize.
That's
about
all
that.
right.
You can sit up
It's
here.
worth it. How many viewers do we have?
41 right now.
Sweet. I'm gonna take this off.
I think I'm having sympathy sweats for you because I'm sweating.
He was having sympathy twitching and his legs was moving a million miles an hour.
So we can answer some more questions. Mark, any more questions or?
I just answered
Colby.
one. Leslie asked how long does one wear the device. I just answered that Leslie, the battery lasts for 5 days.
5 days, yeah. So it's the first. It gets you through the worst part of your detox. If you're on maintenance medication, you wear 2 devices for 10. Well, 1 device for back. 2 devices, 1 device back to back for 10 days, and that carries you through the main part of your detox. You get through the peak of it, and so.
When she put that sticky on it, I felt a tug on one of the electrodes, and now I can feel like I don't know.
So you need a pinch test.
Okay. Pop a ball, Terria. Yes, there it goes. I
Did it
didn't
go
feel
in?
it. Yes, I didn't feel that before.
So what I'm doing right now is a pinch test to make sure. To make sure. Excuse the
Forgive our
language.
sister.
Yes. Sorry.
So what this one right here was a little loose, and when I poked it in, she could feel it pop in. So, and during the process, that's another thing is while the person is, while these are, while the person's wearing it, sometimes the electrodes can come loose because you're moving your head, you're sleeping, you're talking on the phone, whatever.
Terria.
What?
Oh man, you popped that sucker in. You were like, oh, you had business with that.
Can you feel the pulses now?
No.
Okay.
But I can still feel
It go in?
well when you're like.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Our doc is super sweet and gentle. And you guys tell her to just punch that thing in there.
So basically, sometimes when the patient is wearing, when the patient's wearing the device, sometimes the electrodes will come out and wiggle out, and so they do what's a pinch test. And I've had to, on every single one of our patients except for 2 so far, I've had to do the pinch test. Our first patient had to go to the ER, and he was in full-blown withdrawal and at the peak of it, and we had to pinch that, and he within a minute and a half all his detox symptoms went away. So we're going to go ahead and do another cows on her to see where she's at.
Let's start with your vitals. Right hand, please. Okay, you can rest it on your leg. Flip that over. Okay, so you are steady at 97% oxygen saturation, and we're just waiting for the heart to settle. So, right around 93.
So heart rate went from 114 to 93, which is good.
All right, let's get your blood pressure, and then we'll go through the CALS assessment again.
Oh, sorry. I keep
You
kicking.
need to go ahead and get your left arm. Go ahead and.
Should I put it down?
I know you're sweaty, but
I know.
I don't want to have it
It's
bunched
so
up on you.
sexy.
Okay. 124/78.
Wow. You hear that, Terria?
Yeah, so it went from 142 over 92, and her blood pressure is 124/78, and that's within 20 minutes.
That's proof.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and go through your clinical opiate withdrawal scale again. Your heart rate went down to 93, so that will move you from a 2 to a 1. Okay. How are you feeling as far as the sweating? Are you still kind of clammy and sweaty?
I'm sweaty.
Yeah, you're sweaty. Okay. Any chills?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I can't really see any moisture on your face though, so we can bump you down to 1 on that one. Are you feeling restless at all? Agitated, like you can't sit still?
Not just barely. Just barely.
A
Yeah.
smidge, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at your pupils, and they look normal. So we'll move that to a 0. How are the bone and joint aches? Any return of symptoms for that? Okay. Your face looks a little like you're in shock about it.
Yeah.
Are you having stuffiness in your nose still?
A little bit,
A little?
yeah.
Okay, and then how's your stomach? Still having some cramping?
I don't know. I think it was just hungry, so I don't think.
So is it a hunger ache or is it,
I think it's a
lower
hunger ache.
abdominal nausea?
No, it's a
bathroom?
hunger ache.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move that to 0.
That's normal.
And then we're going to take a look at your hands and see if you have a tremor. And you do not. You
Sorry,
have
I'm
moved
like-
to 0. And you have not yawned, unless I missed it, and I have to ask it every time. Okay. And then how about anxiety or irritability? Are you still feeling calm, or have you had a
I'm
return?
okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right. And then let's take a look at your skin and see if you have any goosebumps. Is that still coming and going
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, as of right now, there we go. As soon as you pull your sleeve up. Okay.
And sometimes even when my sleeve's down, it's like it comes and it goes and it goes.
Okay. All right. So for now, we'll leave that as is, and let's go ahead and get your new score. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've moved from a 20 to a 7.
Wow,
In 20 minutes.
it's crazy.
Cow's clinical opioid withdrawal scale went from a 20 to a
Subs.
7 in 20 minutes. And she was on Subutex.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know what's there.
How is your pain level overall?
This is gonna sound crazy, but it's at a 0. I'm never at a 0. Never.
I think that's wonderful.
It is wonderful. I'm in constant pain.
Here you go.
I'm not gonna cry. Just wiping the crap out of my eyes. Stuff. Sorry. Yeah. It feels so hot right now. I was feeling really cold and now I'm like, it's hot. Is that normal? Hot? Feeling hot?
well, yeah, because when you have the device on, a lot of people describe feeling warm.
Like, but sweaty though?
Well, that might be the detox.
Yeah,
and,
that's-
and it's
it might be-
warm in here because I'm
Okay. All
I'm
right.
sweaty. Unless I'm having sympathy sweats.
All right. Any questions, Mark?
Mike Lambert said, I got on late. Did you have tremors before the device?
Yes, I did. I was actually assessing myself at home because I know how to do it. And yeah, my tremors were pretty bad. I was just like everywhere, full body tremors. And now I don't have any.
You have color in your face now too.
Was I not colored?
Well,
colorful?
you had that look on your
Yeah,
face,
it was
like
different. It was a
Yeah.
flushing.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
where like you have the sick pinkness in your cheeks. This is more overall color.
Oh, okay.
It's better.
I wanted to feel pulses. What the heck? Am I not going to feel it?
I don't know.
Dang it.
Maybe you're going so fast already, you know.
Here's an easy one. Mike Lambert, Sean Starr asks, what does the program cost?
Well, the Lazarus?
Lazarus.
Well, if you qualify for it and you have insurance, the device comes free as long as you are willing and to fully surrender to the protocol that's in place. Do they want to know what that protocol is?
I don't know. He just asked what the program cost.
Well, the pilot project that we're doing right now, the devices were bought through Fallen Up Ministries, and the devices are, there was a contract signed with Algon, and Algon is applying the devices, and Fallen Up Ministries is donating the device to the patient. So basically all they're paying for is their doctor's visit and get their vitals and medical oversight, and that's it. They're not even paying for the device. And their prescriptions too, because they have to have their comfort meds, and then also they got to go get their Vivitrol medication filled so that it's ready whenever they come in for on the 7th day to get their Vivitrol shot. and Serena won't be getting it until like the second week of April.
And just a reminder that our comfort meds are non-narcotic
Yes.
in this project that we are doing.
But they work.
They work.
They're really good. They work. Yeah.
Yeah, the comfort meds do work. Can I read off a little bit of what we do for comfort meds so that we can give them an idea?
I have a list right here. If you'd like for me to go through that.
So that we can kind of give an idea of what those look like, and people know that this is not this. I can kind of give an idea of what's prescribed and why they're prescribed.
So each one of these this is just the list of medications that our provider prefers to use, of the ones that are suggested. So here are all of the suggested ones, and here are the ones that we use through our provider.
So our provider baclofen for muscle aches and pains, clonidine for hot flashes, hot and cold flashes, Zofran for nausea and vomiting, Lamotol for diarrhea and abdominal spasms, gabapentin for restless legs, trazodone for insomnia, and then of course the Vivitrol, but that doesn't come until later. And these are the recommended through Insynergy. They're basically about the same. For the muscle pains, Flexeril is on that list too. Let's see.
And just, I want to clarify something. The clonidine is also really good for anxiety because it really just brings your blood pressure down and helps the anxiety portion of it.
And then we have one more minute before her cows is checked again. Any more questions? You guys can put it in there, and then after her vitals and her cows is checked, then we can quite possibly.
So there'll be a 30-minute window because we have to observe for an hour.
Okay.
So what will happen after this next assessment is I'll probably step out of the room to see if my provider needs anything for the next 30 minutes for me, and then I'll come back in and we'll do a final assessment and get some final numbers for you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see where you are. Sit on your leg. Nice sausage fingers. Okay, so your O2 sats are still at 97. That's good. You're holding steady. And looks like your heart rate is kind of having to get an average on these, but looks like you're right around an average of about 87 right now. So that's still a decrease. How is your pain? Are you still at a 0?
Yes.
Let's get your blood pressure.
Here, I'm going to grab
You
that.
want to scoot this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I'm fine bending your arm there. (122/80), so very close to what your last one was. Alright, heart rate is at 87. That will keep you at a 1 for now. Are you still experiencing some sweating?
Yes.
Okay, any chills?
A little bit.
Okay. And restlessness, are you still feeling a bit restless, or is that resolved?
Me personally, I don't feel restless, but my legs, still a little bit of restlessness. Very mild though.
Okay. Now take a look at your pupils. Looks good. And then bone or joint aches, any return of achiness? No? Are you still having some nasal stuffiness, or has that resolved for you? All clear?
Well, I mean, it's just I feel a little stuffy.
So
Yeah.
still a little stuffy. And then any return of symptoms with your stomach? Any cramping?
No.
Or still just hungry?
Just hungry,
Just
yeah.
hungry. Okay. And then let's take a look at your hands and see if you're still steady or if your tremor is returned. And you do not have a tremor. And I have not seen you yawn, and I didn't miss it. Okay. Any anxiety or irritability? No. And then let's take a look at your skin. See, are you gonna have goosebumps? Is it still coming and going, or do you feel like it's?
No, I
leveling
just
up?
feel hot.
You're just
and
hot?
sweaty. It's
Okay. Well,
gross.
usually by now they will have come back, but your skin is still smooth.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get your new score. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yay!
So a 20
2 of
to
4.
a 4.
And then we'll reassess you again in 30 minutes. But I won't stay in the room that whole time. I'll just set a timer on my watch and I'll come back and check.
Okay, no problem.
Can
I'm
I
gonna
get you anything?
No, I'm just gonna have to use the bathroom here.
Okay.
So, how many viewers do we have?
36 at the moment.
Okay.
37.
So in the process, I'll sit up here with
You
you.
want to sit on my lap?
Oh,
Jason said you would.
Micah's mom
Yeah.
joined us.
Micah.
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
So the reason why we're doing a longer cows or monitoring Serena is because she's on other medication prescribed by her doctor, and that's the benzos, which can take a little bit longer to assess. So we're normally we do a cows for about half an hour, but we're going to go ahead and do it for an hour to see where she's at, and that's at the direction of the doctor. So just make sure, but 20 to 4 is really good. I mean, if you think about that, if you think about
Coming off of subs, man. I'm
yeah,
just like,
and subs,
people know it's brutal. It's so much harder than heroin and pain pills. That's all I have to say. It's just brutal. And I just want to say one thing. I am on benzos, Xanax for my anxiety, but during this rapid taper, I also tapered my Xanax dose way down, like way down. And so I have a feeling that once I get through this, I will find that I don't need it. I have, I don't think I need it. So I'm gonna get off of that too, just so you know. But I got off. Yeah, I cut my dose down way, so
good.
a lot. Giving it all to God. I know He's the one carried me through this.
And Serena plans on taking the Vivitrol shot no less than a year.
No less than a year. If I have to do it for 5, then I'll do it for 5.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions while we're sitting here?
I just see a lot of yay Serenas. And you go, girl, and happy for you. And
Awesome.
like, yeah, we all feel the same. And I love seeing that smile on her face. So it's really cool to be here.
Yeah. It's cool to be a part of this whole thing. I get to be on both sides. That's just my mind's blown. To be able to watch patients go through this and then go through it myself. Now I know what they go through. It's just super humbling. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what to say.
So I guess while we have a minute for those out there in places that can make this happen, we need to get Terria Walters back to DC, and I'm super stoked about the opioid commission that they're forming, and I know what our partners here in Alaska can bring to that table, and believe it or not, Alaska is far ahead of the curve than a lot of places in the lower 48, and so yeah, we'd really like to get some of our people back there, and I nominate Terria, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of likes and loves on that nomination. So
Well, in that, I would really like to go, to DC to talk to our lawmakers, legislators, you know, even if possible, the president. And especially, you know, and then also our U.S. Surgeon General, I just want to do a shout out to him because he's been very aggressive with this subject and very compassionate towards me back on April 4th, 2016.
Yeah, he cared enough to come to our state to
Yeah,
address it,
absolutely.
to come to our wellness summit here in the Valley, and that's just awesome. So.
And when I was talking, when I asked him a question about addiction and incarceration, because that's a huge issue. You know, we do have a lot of people in jail that need, you know, we have a huge, it's average about 85% of those incarcerated have a substance use disorder, and only 11% of them actually get any form of treatment. So I'm all about reinvestment, and I did discuss this. Well, I asked our Surgeon General about this, and just told him about, you know, my son's death, and he obviously agrees that that this needs to be addressed. You know, we got to tackle the addiction issue, but we also must, you know, tackle the what's happening to individuals that do have substance use disorders. And in no way am I saying that nobody should be held accountable for committing a crime if they steal or burglary or robbery or commit a violent crime against somebody, not hold them accountable. To not hold them accountable, but treat them while they're incarcerated. Environment is everything. I know what it's like to be incarcerated, and I know what it's like to be in pretrial and in jails, and if we don't have the resources available for those that can't get out of jail, we risk the recidivism rate. And right now the recidivism rate for individuals that suffer with substance use, well, in jail altogether is 66% for Alaska, and it's 75% for those 24 and under. And then, but it's all about public safety. Okay. Hey, no. It's all about public safety, and if we could address this opioid epidemic, we can reduce crime, violent crime, deaths, suicides, murders, so on and so forth. I mean, this is just, obviously we call this an epidemic because we have a lot of people dying, but, you know, the effects of this is huge in regards to crime and people losing their, you know, being violated by thefts, and then me, you know, I lost my son. Somebody murdered him, and you know, I know this sounds brutal, but they murdered him, shot him in the head, and put him in the back seat of his own car. And for a day and a half, I searched for my son. And June 23rd, I was doing an interview with 700 Club, and I was being followed with the cameras sharing my testimony and trying to get a hold of my son, and I couldn't get a hold of him. Yeah. He wasn't answering his phone. It was off. He wasn't answering text messages. And so
we started plastering flyers all over the state. They were everywhere.
And so while I was filming with 700 Club, my son lay dead in his car. So every time I watch that video of my testimony, sharing my testimony, I know that whole day I was calling my son and texting him, and did not have any idea that he had been killed. My son would have been 25. He was killed a month and a half before his 24th birthday, and this is a huge problem, and it does need to be addressed. And I, just from my own personal experience and watching other people, the fear of detox and the pain of it is the biggest problem. Nobody wants to get sick. They can't get through it, and individuals are saying, well, why don't you just quit? Why don't you just quit using drugs? Well, it's really not that simple. A lot of people do want to quit, and that's something else I want to address. You know, people say, well, people have to want it. Well, every day, myself, Fallen Up Ministries staff, Fiend to Clean, a lot of us that are out here, boots on the ground, walking alongside these individuals that are suffering in current active addiction. Carolee Nelson, who's in Juneau. All of us are constantly trying to find resources and for individuals seeking treatment, but the part that is the biggest issue is the detox. And so today we wanted to share with what we've discovered, and I want to do a shout out at Innovative Health Solutions for just even creating this device. I mean, this is a phenomenal device, and I wish we had this 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when I wanted to get clean and sober. Unfortunately, we didn't, and I ended up going to jail. I've been in and out of jail since I was a kid, but and due to my addiction. But we could prevent people going to jail. It's all about prevention. Dr. Michael Alter, who is on the Matsu Opioid Task Force, he is
Our little firecracker.
yeah, he has tackled this epidemic with aggressiveness, and one of his big issues is and things that he likes to talk about is prevention. And it was talked about the other day with the round table with Dr. Jay Butler and the governor and myself and Fiend to Clean and other people of the task force about young people in recovery being able to get into the schools to talk to kids because the drugs are in the schools. And Carl and Kirby, who are the founders of Fiend to Clean, can't get into the schools. And so we got to remove those barriers, because it's people like us, people that are in long-term recovery, that help other people get into recovery, and then also preventing youth from taking that path. Education and prevention is everything. And if you think that it's not in your kids' school, if you think that your kids aren't doing it, if you think that not my kid, you're sadly mistaken. And we also hear a lot of the time, it's not my problem, but it is your problem because it's your community. And so if you think that you don't know, if you think that it's not in your household, well, it could be your neighbor that's dealing with this. And addiction doesn't have a class, a race,
How much money
you have.
It doesn't discriminate.
No, it doesn't discriminate, especially the opioid epidemic right now. We're seeing all different kinds of individuals that come from different walks of life.
Just this project alone, just the amount of patients we have, they're all different. So different.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
looking at that.
We have youngsters that own their own homes and
Yeah.
they're in the addiction, and we have individuals that are homeless and in addiction. So it does not discriminate at all. And okay,
I have one thing I want to say that this is kind of a reason for me. Maintenance medications like methadone, Suboxone, when we help people, that is not first. That's not where our first goal is to get them through there. It has a purpose, as a last-ditch effort, or if somebody cannot get into a resource like with getting the bridge or whatever the case may be. But I just want people out there to know, I know people message me a lot saying I'm trapped in Suboxone. It did what its purpose for me, but now I can't get off. And so I'm trying to show you guys that you can get off. We're going to continue to fight this and work really hard to where you can get this device. But this is something amazing for me because I was prisoner to my medication for 4 years. My doctor knew. Every time I came in here, she'd go, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I hate my life because I'm taking a pill every day that just to stay well." I wasn't even high. I was just staying well. And my last use day was yesterday, and
yesterday.
Oh yeah, sorry, day before yesterday. Yesterday is my 1 day sober from subs, right? That would be what it is. Okay, anyhow, so and now I can do this. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's just I want people out there to know this is an option now, and you don't have to be prisoner. And like I said, Fallen Up Ministries and our partners and everyone that we're associated with, we are fighting really hard to get this device everywhere. So that's all I want to say is you can get out of that maintenance medication and move on to the next phase of your recovery.
And I want to say too, everybody's walk to recovery is different. If you choose to do maintenance medication, that's your walk, and we're not here to shame you or anything like that, or tell you that you're bad or anything, or make you feel Everybody does their own thing.
No.
Me personally,
I did it.
I know lots of people that go to NAAA and stuff like that. I don't go to NAAA. I go to church, and I have a church community that surrounds me. My Lord and Savior is what gets me through in my recovery. And then somebody else may choose to do a different path. So it's not always everybody has to do the same type of recovery. Some people want to do faith-based treatment. Some people want to do more behavioral health, behavior modification style treatment. And I want to talk about, and I wish Carl and Kirby were here, because then we could talk about peer support and how essential that is, because they play a huge piece in this, as far as, Fallen Up Ministries helps the individual get detoxed and then move them on. We help them through the first 7 days. And our Fallen Up Ministries staff, myself, Mark, Serena, we offer faith-based peer support for those that want it, but also Carl and Kirby are certified, actually peer support specialists, recovery coaches, and they went out of state, and so is Carolee Nelson, who's in Juneau. They actually went out of state and got certified. So they are a huge piece to this. They're people in long-term recovery. They're passionate about helping individuals, and helping another addict get onto the road to recovery is essential. And I hear all the time from people that suffer with substance abuse disorders that, they would prefer to have somebody that's lived it, walked it, has been there, help hold their hand and walk them, help them onto the road to recovery, tell them what they need to hear, rather than somebody that's clinical. And so I'm not saying anything bad about those that have a degree or clinical. I'm just saying that I know me personally and many other individuals that are in recovery, that's been the consensus. Everybody would prefer to have those peer support. So I encourage those that have that sit at these round tables making up policy and making decisions to invite us to the table for these solutions, because we live it every single day and we walk through our recovery. And there's 23 million people today in recovery, and we have a voice, and we want to help other people. And so I hope that the National Opioid Task Force is going to have those peer supports. John Shinholster's close to DC. I'm hoping that he's going to be, the McShin Foundation is going to be participating in this. And I'd be willing to participate in this to educate individuals on the detox aspect of it, and about the bridge device. I'm not a medical professional, but I took the training online. I read about it, and I know how it works, and I've watched it work, and it's
You're a
phenomenal.
professional, man. I'm sorry, but you are. Maybe not a medical professional, but you know how to do that device.
Yeah. So, yeah, it does have to be applied by a medical provider. I could not apply it. I wish I could. I mean, I can apply it, but legally I'm not supposed to, and I don't. I wish I could, because I have so many people calling me on a regular basis that's in full-blown withdrawal. And if I had a device on me, which I do have devices on me at all times, I just can't be the one to apply it. And I'm hoping that eventually we can see these in emergency departments and urgent care.
In prison.
In prison,
The
The
biggest
biggest
detox
detox
facility in
in
the
the whole
state.
state. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Not
some of the things-
unintentional, but
yeah,
it is.
unintentional, but yeah, that's part of the big picture for this is like, we're doing this Lazarus project to prove what we all already know, it works, and so our real hope is to continue this in the hard to reach places across our state, and we want to get these detox with dignity into our prison system, and so we don't have to have people we care about go through what John and Kathy Green went through with their daughter Kelsey. I mean, yeah, enough's enough already.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've gotten so many people that are like, I have to remand to jail, and I can't because I'm scared. And I'm with them. I would be terrified to go do a Subutex withdrawal in prison, and that's sad. I mean, so many people that are afraid to go remand because they're trapped in their disease and they need help, medical help. But
I really hope that seeing this process will, we see people in their addiction and it is ugly. We're owning that it is ugly to be in full blown active addiction, but we're here to say that we're putting a face to recovery, and recovery is possible. And we are people. We do matter. We are part of the community. And I hear so many times, I won't mention who, but I see so many individuals. Mark calls them keyboard warriors. Ones that will sit behind the computer saying that people like us need to be locked up forever, throw away the keys, shoot us in the head, that we're just let us kill ourselves off, so on and so forth.
I've got some more, or the state shouldn't have to pay for your hepatitis C treatments. All sorts of stuff. Yeah.
And then yesterday when Chris Christie did when NBC shared the video of that every life matters and that they had formed this task force, nearly every single comment on that feed was negative about people getting people into recovery. So the huge part about this is that we need to break the stigma. If we don't start addressing this issue, it's going to continue to get worse, and your house could be robbed, more violence. I mean, this is just crazy. And so we definitely need to address this issue, and I think welcoming individuals and making them feel important is essential. Does anybody have any questions? Do you guys want to say anything else?
I just want to give a shout out to Acts 247 Recovery Church because Pastor Corey and his wife Erin, oh my gosh, they are so awesome. I got so many messages from Erin just in the short few days, and she's awesome and he's awesome. And my husband, who's in this room right now, has been one of the greatest supports also. And he's going to church and he's totally open up to allowing Christ in his life and in our marriage. And I'm just, it's cool, man. Thank you.
Totally cool. Mark, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say, tailbacking on what you had said earlier, a lot of people just assume that because we are advocates and we do help people that are, in the ugly part of their lives, that, people get the misconception that we're, soft on crime and a lot of people lose sight of that, we're victims too, people come to my house and steal. I've been a victim here just in the last couple weeks. And, I don't know anybody that comes to our task force that hasn't been a victim in one form or another. And so, yeah, we're not soft on crime, but what we are saying is, by default, our jails have become a major detox, the biggest detox in the state. And so we just want to bring solutions, and we want, while people are in there, let's get them the help for their real problems, and let's breathe life into these people and teach them something new, and not just house drug addicts with violent offenders. That's just producing more violent offenders. People, go in with a small problem and then come out with a much worse problem.
It's proven.
Like Micah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Proven.
One of my good friends, the first time he ever shot heroin was in prison. He didn't use drugs until he went to prison. And so think about that for a minute while you're saying, lock them all up.
Right.
If you think drugs are not in the jails, you're sadly mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
It's there like thick, and you could send a nonviolent person that's an addict to jail, and then you're housing them with violent offenders, and then you're creating a bigger problem because you got to survive in that type of environment, and you the inmates become more seasoned when they come out, and more connections, and crime increases, and gangs are formed, and violence, and you either become part of the gang or a victim of the gang. And that's what I hear a lot from a lot of individuals that I've talked to that have been incarcerated for years and years and years. You either become a victim of the gang or part of the gang. So, you know, you can have these youngsters going in and coming out, you know, years later, you know, more violent or more seasoned, more having more issues in regards to their addiction because it wasn't addressed. And approach determines response. That's another thing that I want to address here. How you treat somebody. You know, we have Dr. Alter calls. At first, he talks about how he, you know, had suffered from compassion fatigue, and compassion fatigue is just getting tired of the revolving door and not knowing what to do. And basically, it's basically because it's not understood. And Dr. Alter has come a long way in that because he wants to understand, and he's reached out to people like us to be more educated on it. And you know, we have, you know, correctional staff and that are not medical providers. They don't understand. They're trained to be correctional staff. They're there to oversee the inmates, but unfortunately they are there trying to oversee somebody detoxing, and they don't understand that. And so I think that it's super important that we also address it in that aspect, that we have you know, peers come into the jails and come alongside those that are detoxing so that they can see how we as individuals address this issue and how we care about them, and we want to partner with you guys on this and take that burden off you. I'm more than happy to do that. Believe that. I mean,
Right.
I deal with it on a regular basis. So I mean, I see people in full blown, and I get cussed out. People are really mean, and
I've even blown up at her before.
and super mean, and then, you know, you get the device on, and then they're smiling, totally attitude changes.
I want to go back to, she was talking about the people that have the compassion fatigue within the emergency departments, the jails, I mean, police everywhere. But there's also another class that no one really addresses. There's a big portion of people in recovery that are becoming very judgmental. They're becoming compassion fatigue. They are the keyboard warriors. They are just, there's a lot of people in recovery that are being just like those that don't understand addiction, and that's, I don't even know what to say about that. But I'm hoping for those of you that are in recovery and feel the hatred towards the epidemic we have, humble yourselves to remember where you were and where you came from, because it could happen again. You know, we're in long-term recovery. You know, we could lapse at any moment, so just remember that.
And that's the thing, like, us being in long-term recovery doesn't make us any better or any more important than anybody else.
Right.
You know, when you go to NA or AA, they say the most important person is the newcomer. You know, it reminds us of what's out there and what we don't want to go back to. And so, yeah, we do recover, and some of the biggest champions that I know, the ones on the front lines that are just boots on the ground, kicking in doors and making things happen around the state, protecting your safety, my safety, are the people that do have a story in their past. And so I'd really like to see some legislation change to where people with barrier crimes that, you know, can be part of the solution. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that the second you get out of jail that all of a sudden
You can be a doctor.
all of a sudden you can just, you know, go out and start doing this. But I'm saying there's people that have barrier crimes that have more than proven themselves to me and a lot of people in our state. And I say let's do something to get these people to be able to have the conversations that need to be had in the schools, in the prisons, and let's teach the people that truly know what it's like. Let's get them to where they need to be to spread this message.
Yeah, people like me and Terria, we don't get to become certified or, you know, we don't get degrees in drug counseling because of our drug crimes. Hers is very much more severe than mine, but I can't even, because I have a drug felony. And I mean,
You have a barrier.
Yeah, I got a barrier.
Mine's 10 years and it's lifting in 2 days.
Yeah.
10 years after my conviction.
Well, then mine's
I wasn't convicted
far
for
gone.
substance of it.
But I didn't know we could get degrees.
You can, but not a lot when they do background checks
Yeah.
to be a substance abuse counselor working in the form of behavioral health.
Yeah.
they'll say, well, you have a barrier crime, you can't work as a substance abuse counselor. I was told that so many times. Mine was a first-degree drug charge. I've been manufacturing methamphetamine. I started using meth to get off of methadone and opioids. And here comes our doctor.
Hi.
Doctor?
How's it going?
I'm good.
You doing good?
Yeah, I still got some symptoms going on.
You look good though.
Okay.
So we're gonna repeat your
Okay.
clinical opiate withdrawal scale and pain level. I heard you had no pain.
Yeah.
I've never known you not to have pain.
Me neither. I've never known me not either.
So are you still officially at a 0 for your pain?
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Nice to see
Right.
you.
So I'm going to squeeze by you, Mr. Cameraman. All right. Can I borrow your right hand? All right, let's flip that over. That's okay. Its default setting is to be upside down. Were you guys talking and chatting a lot before we came in? I think my heart rate's a little bit up. So 97% is oxygen, 97 is your heart rate. Okay, you said 0 is your pain. I'm going to go ahead and get your final blood pressure for the day. Thank you. (124/82). Okay, ready to go through your last assessment?
Yep.
Alright. So your heart rate was at 97. And that will still keep you at a 1. Okay. Are you still feeling sweaty and clammy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. No chills?
A little bit.
Still
Yeah.
having some chills?
Mhm.
Okay. Are you feeling restless? Or has that calmed down for you?
It's a little bit.
Still a little bit there? Okay. And then let's take a look at your pupils. They look good.
I know they're getting bigger and bigger. I noticed that.
They look pretty normal.
Oh.
They've been pretty consistent.
Oh, really? Because in the bathroom.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the light is very
Oh,
bright,
okay.
so it's-
I'm like,
it'll
wow, my
do
pupils
things.
are huge.
That was, they'll shrink them. But.
Okay.
So, boner joint aches?
No.
Okay. Are you still having some stuffiness in your nose?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Any stomach symptoms? I know you said those had
Just-
resolved.
Just hungry.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Just hungry.
When we take a look at your hands and see if you have a tremor, you are steady as a rock. And any yawning? I haven't seen.
I yawned one time when you were not in the room, but
not since we started the
no,
assessment.
no.
Okay. Are you feeling anxious or irritable?
No.
And let's see if you're having any goosebumps right now. Is that pretty much evened out for you?
Thanks.
I think you're
think
good.
so.
Usually by
I'm
now
pretty
they
hot.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So let's see where you are. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're holding steady at a 4.
Okay. That's fine in my book.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I do have some prescriptions for you for comfort medications in case you need them over the weekend. Make sure you fill them just in case.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You give me enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
Thank
I
you.
did. And then this is for the Vivitrol. Oh, you're probably not going to need it for a couple.
Yeah, I do have a question though. Are you going to do the naltrexone pill test on me?
Do you want me
Yes.
to do that?
Yeah.
I
Do you
can
do it in the
that.
office and then like we
No,
wait
we
a
let
certain?
you take it home.
Okay, I do because I want to make
Yeah,
sure.
no problem. We can do that.
So do you want me? I can
usually
hold on
do
to
it- I
that.
usually do it for 2 days.
Okay.
So just 2 days. No
How many
Naltrexone.
pills is it?
Just
Twice a day?
Yeah, maybe just one pill because the pill is 50 milligrams.
Okay.
And I usually break it in half and quarters. So you may take a quarter one day and then half the next day, and if you do fine, then the third day we do the Vivitrol injection.
Okay, yeah, I want to do the pill test for sure.
Yeah, no problem. No,
Okay.
that's fine. So just hold on to the script.
Okay.
And then when we do the second, when the second one comes off,
Yeah.
then I'll give you the prescription for the.
I was going to talk to you about that. So on Tuesday, this device would have been dead by whatever time you applied it by that day, but
Mhm.
my appointment's at 10 a.m. Do you think I should reschedule it later in the day if you have an opening? Or do you think we should just go with it?
Just go with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if it's convenient for you, let's just go with that. All right?
Yep.
And then we'll probably try the other
Right.
ear and go. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's. I figured as much.
Good job.
All right,
Good job.
thank
Any
you.
other questions or?
Nope. Is-
Don't forget the pinch test. If you have symptoms over
Right.
the weekend, you have to pinch those little things.
Like super hard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not going to hurt yourself. So you
My
just,
husband said he'll do it.
and then we'll teach him how to do it too.
Okay.
Because sometimes if you're going to get really uncomfortable, if you wake up and you're in like withdrawals,
Right.
that means one of the pins have come loose. So you may not remember to do the pinch test, but your husband will.
Right.
So that's very important. Just pinch those little things in tight, okay?
Okay.
All right. Then we give you some extra supplies just in case you might need, more of the Tegaderm or
Oh,
the
okay.
different things. So
Okay.
your husband has those too.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll hug you later. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you next week.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So we're getting ready to sign off, and if you have any more questions, just put them in the comments, and Serena and I, Mark, will go through and answer any questions that you have. So I just want to let you know, Serena went from a 20 on a cows to a 4, and that could change. When she gets home, it could probably drop, and she'll have 0 symptoms later on, which has happened with our patients where I've gotten a text and saying I have 0 symptoms now. And so I just want you guys to be excited. And if you have any questions about the device, let us know. And I saw a comment before I got over here, and it said, can it become dislodged? Yes, at one point it can become, and we do what's called a pinch test.
Hashtag pinch test. Remind me.
Yeah. So pinch test to make sure that it's still in there, because sometimes they wiggle out. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. And thanks for tuning in. And we hope that. Well, we know that this is going to go further, and I just want to say thanks. And,
Yep, and
if
see
you want
you
to
on
come to
Tuesday,
the Matsu Opioid Task Force, it will be on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. If you want to participate in that and see what we're doing and be a part of the solution, because that's what we're about. We don't want to focus just on the problem. We want to or complain. We want to be a solution. So, all right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Hashtag